Studio, talk to you.
The gym is like the church. Many attends, only few understands. Remember, always listen to the inner voice to the point of infinity where the mind meets the muscle at the intramuscular junction that forms the mind-muscle connection. Drop all egos, no obsession, just lock it down. This is Fitness Talk Show on obradiofm.com, the act of sculpting without tracing.
Yoga or just starting your fitness journey, I'm going to tell you that this is your show, because this show belongs to you. And for you that is right there, I need your contributions and comments, because this show belongs to you also that is listening to me, and because we just need to do it together. And also remember that we'll be diving deep into anything that keeps you strong, healthy, and motivated. We are just experts from certified areas, not just experts from certified areas, but we are the ones whose body has turned to gold. A two-time winner of the best fitness administrator. But I'll be doing all of these with big fish. And definitely it's going to be something very different from what we used to do before. We're talking about the three wise men. And when we say the three wise men, it's a lot that goes through the brain, where we remember that every rep counts, every step matters, and every healthy choice brings you closer to the best of yourself. And if that is true, then what exactly do we mean by the three wise men?
Okay. Now, is that a question that you're asking me?
It's not a question I'm asking to you, because it's a question, it's a discussion that I want you to take a deep breath about. We've heard about the three wise men in the Bible, and we know that the three wise men, they came with what? They came with gifts. They came with gifts. Yeah. And if the three wise men in the Bible actually came with gifts, then definitely it is relative. that three wise men could not be something too far on comparative analysis from something that is also going to come with a gift. But the question is, when we talk about the three wise men, what exactly are we really referring to as regards to physiology and anatomy? I see that, yes, we are talking about first the gift of we're talking about the gift of strength, which is the gift of movement, covering exercise, soreness management, and progressive training. Then we also look at the gift of recovery, which is restoration. Because you see, when there is muscle breakdown or there is tear of muscle tissues, you have to rest for recovery. And that recovery comes with the gift of restoration, focusing on rest, sleep, and stress management. And what is the third gift? The third gift is the gift of fuel, which is nutrition. So we have three wise men. I was trying to find out from you what's relative.
Okay.
What are the comparative analysis when it has to do with the three wise men?
So now, in my opinion, what these three wise men is all about is the three key components that fitness is all about. Because you cannot do fitness without movement. You have to move your body, you have to move your hands, and also you have to talk about rest. Yeah, rest. Because when you rest, when you sleep, your body, your muscles will recover, your tissues rebuild, and you feel so fresh and you feel alive. They came with presents.
They came with three gifts. It was like more like a scenario where the moon was actually directing them, or the sun rather, and something very, very significant happened. And that significant thing that actually happened came with something. And what did it actually come with? It came with a gift. They said that we are moving towards the direction of the sun, of the moon rather. And the moon actually led them to where exactly Jesus is. And that's the same thing we're talking about now. You see, the movement of the body system, the management of the strength and every other thing you do comes from the natural source of power, where everything that has to do with the twitch of the fiber comes from the foundational strength, and which is a gift that's for you, which is referred to as the gift of strength, which is the movement, and that of the recovery comes with the gift of restoration, because that's where sleep, rest, and all of that comes in. And the third gift, which is the gift of what? The third gift is the gift of fuel. This is when nutrition comes in, considering the macros intake and the micros intake. This is where it comes in. So these three sets of gifts that one needs for you to be able to have the mere expression of the flesh or live a healthy lifestyle, they are things that are two very important components that you can't just push by the side. In short, without this, I don't think you are into fitness. Without this,
because
I
we
think
need
you are just
proper
a joker.
rest.
Without this, I think you are just leading your way on the pathway of jeopardy. You're going to actually destroy yourself. So you must understand these key components and take it very importantly, because those are the things that will actually help you.
growth happens during rest. Growth doesn't happen during activity. Growth happens during your cool down period, not when you're lifting the irons, not when you're making the body movements, but after you're done and you're resting. And also, it is properly advised that you have good sleep. 7 hours is okay. If you can get 7 hours of sleep,
Sharp or persisting pain signals the need for rest or medical attention. First we need to have a better understanding about what soreness actually means. We have seen and we have heard that sore today, strong tomorrow is a statement that we hold on to. And when we say the soreness is good, it delays onset muscle soreness. But when there is a sharp pain and that onset muscle soreness indicates growth, while there is a sharp or persisting pain, then you know that we need a medical attention for us to be able to wrap it up. That's where the problem is. But when progressive overload, which is something that we apply like a principle, is something that actually gradually increases intensity, duration, or complexity to continue growing stronger without overwhelming your system. That is exactly what we mean by progressive overload. And these are things that ought to do with our movement. Why the variety is very vital, because that is where we incorporate cardiovascular exercise, strength training, flexibility work, and functional movement. These are things that has to do with a better combination to create a well-rounded fitness foundation practical application. Because for you to say yes, need to throw all the egos by the door and make sure no obsession is part of our routine, whatever we're going to do. But however it is, let's go on a short break. And when we're back, we'll be analyzing all of these further. Back down from our short break, and we're just going straight to the second wise man, which is recovery. And that's the gift of restoration, the wisdom of strategic real. The second wise man reminds us the growth happens during rest. In almost times, a lot of people, when they get to the gym, they feel that they need to spend hours in the gym for them to be able to have the mere extension of the flesh. They need to spend more time for them to be able to achieve their dream. But I could tell you for free that growth comes while you're resting. It has never been done in the gym. Yes, I want to look like Hercules doesn't mean that I'm going to spend the whole day in the gym for me to look like Hercules. Yes, I want to have that muscles that is going to make me look like I'm a Schwarzenegger or make me hit the Mr. Olympia stage. I'm just going to tell you right here that it's not going to happen spending all the time in the gym. This can only happen when you are resting. And that is where we say that the growth happens during rest, not just during your activity. And this pillar covers sleep, active recovery, stress management, and the art of doing nothing productively. That is where it comes. So, you see, most times, naturally, after the day's job, if you don't rest, there's no way you're going to be productive. For you to be productive the next day, you need to rest. You go home, you take a shower or whatever. You just need to put your head down for you to be able to be very active. There is a science of recovery, and that science of recovery is sleep optimization, which is 7 to 9 hours. And neurologists have always explained that the quality sleep is when your body repairs muscle tissue. That's quality sleep. So you need enough of the sleep for your body to actually repair muscle tissues or repair tongue tissues. The conditions you see are memories and regulate romance, crucial for fitness progress. So it's important we have this understanding and see how we're going to rest. I wonder how many times you rest in the day and how you rest. Do you actually rest after job?
Yeah, I do rest. Yes.
I don't think you actually grab the rest because you see, looking at the situation where you find yourself with a lot of people, when I mean a lot of people, the F group, F associates, you have quite a lot of them. And at what time do you rest? How many hours do you rest a day? Yeah, let me find out this.
Yeah, I do rest some good amount of hours.
Amount of hours is not amount.
Okay,
I'm talking about giving a figure.
figures.
Yeah.
You're looking at around 6 hours.
Well, neurologists have told us that the 7 to 9 hours is something that we shouldn't play with, and it's going to make us look very active and give us that active recovery we need. Swimming promotes blood flow and reduces our stiffness. All of these are things that are behind the science of recovery. And one other thing that is important that we need to consider again is our mental recovery. Meditation, deep breathing, and mindfulness is so important that we need to put all of that into consideration because you see, practices helps manage cortisol levels and improve overall being. So it's something that we need to put into consideration. A lot of times and repeatedly, I have mentioned that fitness is more of the mental than the physical. It helps us in terms of taking down, we're managing our cortisol levels, and also helps us to improve our overall well-being. This is a recovery strategies that we shouldn't do it at all time. We need to put it into total consideration and get it clear. And for us to create a consistent sleep schedule, we need to implement stress reduction techniques. And these are ways we need to use recovery tools like foam rolling, stretching, massage, and all of that. But if you don't have all of these things, you could still do your rest properly. And I could bet you that the honor your body's needs for complete rest is for you to stay hydrated. Do you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
by
It's for you
hydration,
to.
we're talking about water, right?
That's exactly. That's why you see me always. I need to grab my water.
Yeah.
You got no water, so I wonder how you hydrate yourself. But however it is, I know I'm going to do this with you because you also need to be hydrated and get yourself strong like me. However it is, it's simply hydration as one great thing that we need to do to our body to maintain that electrolyte balance. Because you see, over time we use the restroom, we perspire and we do a lot of things. All those are things that makes us to lose electrolytes. So we must make sure we always get hydrated so that we're going to have that electrolyte balance, which is very, very important. And we just go straight to the third wise man, which is in nutrition, and that is the gift of fuel, the wisdom of nourishment. The third wise man teaches us how food is fuel, medicine, and pleasure, but balance is the key. We always need to balance it. Balancing, we're talking about we making sure that the macros are balanced, the carbs, the proteins, and the fats. Their ratios as relative to our body type, our biotype criteria. The ectos have their ratios, the endos have their ratios, and the mesos also have their ratio. It's so important that we need to create this balance. And this pillar, we know that focuses on eating for performance, recovery, and long-term health rather than just short-term restrictions. These are some of the things we need to consider and reconsider again because there are nutritional foundations over this. We're talking about this macro balance is something that we need to really ensure adequate protein for muscle recovery is important. 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight is something that we need to consume. And for complex carbohydrates is something that helps us for energy and help us for energy. And when we talk about the fats are things that are also very good for our hormone production and inflammation control because you see, most times we have different kind of issues and the amount of the kind of fat we consume helps us to cut down inflammation. That's why it is important for us to look at healthy fats, like fats that are insoluble fats that help to cut down probably most times the soluble fat that we find in us. So these are things that we really need to consider, considering the macro intake that we need to take in, which has to do with relative to our body type is important. When you talk about the macros are the micronutrient densities. It focuses more on the whole foods rich in vitamins, the minerals, and the antioxidants to support cellular function and recovery. Those are the micronutrients, in our nutrition, which we know that is divided into two macros and the micros. And when we talk about the micros, we're talking about those rich food vitamins and things that is going to support us in terms of cellular function and recovery. These are things that are extremely very important. So when we look at the timing matters, the pre-workout, fuel post-workout, and recovery nutrition, and consistent meal timing support your fitness goals is the key for you to achieve the dream. It's a sustainable eating practices that help us achieve all of these, and it's also extremely very important.
Well, one thing I hear you say a lot is when you go to the gym, keep your egos by the side and don't drop your obsession. Don't be focused on numbers. Now, this particular episode of this show has actually made those things, or those words, they've come to life because it's not the numbers, it's not about how fast you want the results. There are different factors that have to be in place to help you live a balanced life and help you make sure that your fitness journey is.
Consequently, the practice remains the same, where we look at food plays 80%, and that's what we talk about nutrition. We don't want to limit it with the word food. Nutrition has to be balanced because we're looking at the macros and we're looking at the micros. It plays major role. It contributes about 80% to what we're talking about, while the training gives you the 20%. So for you to be able to achieve this complementary balance, then there is need for you not to train with obsessions or don't train with any form of ego. Because I keep telling people, don't ego over muscle, rather muscle ego over you. When I mean muscle ego over you, the muscle will actually overwhelm your attitude. But when you ego over muscle is when you have a very little muscle and you're trying to push yourself as if you are so big that you're egoing over muscle. Drop all egos not to impress anybody. Don't train with obsessions. All you need to do is listen to the inner voice, which is something I've been saying repeatedly, and be able to understand twitch this fiber by making sure you obey the principles of training, which is extremely very important. And in case you're joining us, this is OBRadioFM.com, the act of sculpting without tracing. We're reaching you live from our live studio from the city of Port Harcourt, River State, Nigeria. We want your contributions, we want your comments, we want you to make an inquiry, we want you to be part of this show. Before I started this show, I said this show is your show. We are going to do this show together because no matter who you are a warrior, you are somebody that is just a weekend jogger or somebody that is just starting the fitness journey. I could tell you for free that this show belongs to you. It's a show for the both of us. We're talking about the three wise men. That's our discussion for today. We talked about the first wise man, which is the movement of strength. We talk about the second wise man, which is the recovery, the gift of restoration. And we'll talk about the third wise man, which is the nutrition, which is the gift of what? Fuel. These are things that are extremely very important and components that will give you the healthy lifestyle. It's not all about, I am not a bodybuilder. It's not all about, I don't think I really want to. But whether you think or you don't think, I am telling you that if you're sitting down right into the ground, that thing you're doing is worse than smoking, as confirmed by WHO. And if you're right there, you're not doing anything. I said, not doing anything alone is worse than somebody that is in the beer parlor. So what do? All you need to do is to come, spend your time, listen to me, and let's do this show always together. But don't forget, we are preparing on the top notch right here in the city of right here in Nigeria, concerning the declaration of the Operation Keep Nigeria Fit, which is coming up on the 27th of September. Don't miss out of it. And let me tell you, if you miss out of it, there is already a fitness sheriff that have been established. They are going to arrest you. We know that, yes, bail is free in Nigeria if the Nigerian police force arrests you, but for the fitness sheriff, bail is not free. You will be sentenced to the house of no mercy, and definitely you are going to pay for it to get yourself out. But before you get to that stage, it's important to make you understand that, yes, there is a total declaration that is coming up on the 27th of September, which is the Operation Keep Nigeria Fit, followed by the Shape Up Nigeria 30-30 activity that is going to roll 30 minutes of exercise for 30 days. Whether you are a Nigerian or not, in as much as you're going to be in Nigeria within this period, make sure you indulge in it. And I could tell you for free, if you get yourself on the 27th, you are not doing anything, because the operation declared comes up every last Saturday of the month. We need to see people at least move. But nevertheless, we're also going to have sheriffs that will be in schools, in the market, on the street, and different workplaces to actually guide people all through all of this, for them to have better understanding, counsel them, making sure that, yes, nobody is going through any challenge with NCD, because we are out there to make sure we knock NCD off the street of Nigeria, to knock NCD off anywhere NCD is going to. That is exactly the preparation, and OB Radio is going to anchor the entire program, making sure that everybody becomes great. I don't know what exactly big fish you want to talk about right here.
Okay, no, it's very important that if you want to begin your training or whatever level of fitness that you're intending to start off with, I want to tell you that the first thing is understand that it's not a sprint, it's a lifestyle, and also focus on the process, not putting all your thoughts on I want to look like Hercules or the end result rather. So take it as a lifestyle, and secondly, focus on nutrition, and finally rest. Drink water, rest. That is very, very important.
Just remember, it's not a destination, but it's just a pathway of a journey.
Yeah.
And the pathway is a pathway of prayer walking. And that is the pathway where the three wise men will meet you when you observe all of these. And the three wise men, as we mentioned, they never came with anything. When they met Jesus, they came with gifts. And when you go through the pathway of prayer walking on this journey, definitely you're also going to meet the gift of the three wise men, which I've mentioned earlier, the gift of strength, the gift of restoration, and the gift of fuel. And that's exactly what I'm going to pack on me. This is where I'm going to call it a wrap. As it's a goodbye to all my listeners, and to the one that's just pressing the right button. This is exactly what you do. I'm now going to give you the gift of life. And what exactly is the gift of life? It's the gift of making you get this to other gift, in addition to the gift that was given to Jesus. Then definitely you have the gift of life. And for Big Fish, what do you want, man?
I want the gift of life.
You want the gift of life? Yeah. And that's exactly what we are going to get, the gift of life. And nevertheless, we'll be right back again. Last week's goodbye to all our listeners. See you next time. Thanks very much.
The gym is like the church. Many attend, only few understands. Remember, always listen to the inner voice to the point of infinity where the mind meets the muscle at the intramuscular junction that forms the mind-muscle connection. Drop all egos, no obsession, just lock it down. This is Fitness Talk Show on obradiofm.com.